Okay, closely connected to congruent triangles is the use of flowcharts. Flowcharts simply give us the method in which we can organize our thoughts to prove two triangles are congruent and maybe also to use some of that information. So we're going to look at typical problems because we already went through the congruencies in the previous sample problems I did for the other video. So we're given right here BD is congruent to AD, angle RDB is congruent to RDA, and we're trying to prove BR is congruent to AR. Now you can't add what you're trying to prove to the figure, and that's really important. It's a common error that a lot of students make. So first thing we're going to do is mark the givens on the figure and place our givens into the flowchart. So we had BD was congruent to AD. So I'm going to put that into my chart right where it says given. I'm not going to put it over here because I want to put my givens where it says given. Then I have angle RDB. So I want to look at RDB is congruent to RDA. Then I'll mark that one in here. Okay, so my next step is I've got kind of make a plan right here. I got a side, I've got an angle, so I'm going to need another angle, or I need another side. So I can't just arbitrarily choose angles, so I have to look for a side or an angle that I know for sure is going to be congruent. Well, we look for vertical angles, and you look for reflexive sides. RD is equal to itself. So this side is congruent to itself, and then I can add that to my flowchart. Then I've got to put down my reason. My reason for this is reflexive. Now I'm going to go to my congruency. I've got side, angle, side. So we've got to match up angle, triangle, RBD. So RBD matches RAD by side, angle, side. Now, once you know two triangles congruent, anything else in the triangle that I haven't found yet is also going to be congruent with its corresponding side or angle. We're trying to show that BR, this side right here, is congruent to AR. Well, those sides match. BR, AR, even though they're written in reverse order, they match in terms of our congruency, and that's what we're trying to find. So what that's called is when we have congruent triangles, we get congruent parts. And another one, that way that some people will do it, they'll say congruent parts of congruent triangles are congruent. This one's kind of nice because I know I have to get congruent triangles first to be able to say the parts are congruent. This one's good because it says corresponding parts of congruent triangles congruent. So this makes sure I get the fact that they're corresponding. So either one of these things will be acceptable. Sometimes this one really is clear about what you're trying to do. Let's do another example. Okay, so again, we're going to go through our steps. We're going to mark our givens. So the first given we have is angle F is congruent to angle B. So we'll mark those. There's angle F, there's angle B, and I'll put that into my given. Then I've got TA is congruent to AR. So I'm going to take TA is congruent to AR. Put that in my given. Okay, again, we're devising a plan. So I'm looking for any other sides or angles I know to be congruent either by reflexive or by vertical angles. Well, if I see the angle right here, these two angles are congruent, but I have to be able to describe those. So when you describe them, you could say angle RAF is congruent to angle TAB as long as you put the A in the middle. That's kind of the key thing. You got to make sure you put the A in the middle so we know what one we're working in. There's too many to say just simply angle A. I can't say angle A is congruent to angle A because I don't know what angle you're talking about if you just say A. There's lots of angles there. And then what you should be writing vertical angles are congruent. So you can abbreviate it in this kind of a format. Okay, now we're going to go to our congruency. So for our congruency, triangle FAR. So if we look at this, we have triangle FAR. Well, F matched with B, A matches with A, and then T. And this was because, erase my ink. This is because we have angle, angle, side. And again, my final goal was to get FR congruent to BT. Well, those are corresponding parts of the triangles. So, congruent triangles gives me congruent parts.